Hello and welcome back to another episode of Imperfect Marketing. I'm your host, Kendra Corman, and today we're diving into a topic I talk about at least once or twice a year because it's that important. Okay, and that is measuring the success of your email marketing campaigns. So we're going to explore the key metrics you should be looking at and why setting your own benchmarks is essential. So let's go ahead and get started. Measuring success in email marketing is extremely important. I know you like sharing information, but if it isn't working for you and your ideal customer, then it's not worth your time. Don't you want to know that? And you're going to need to make changes. It's like checking your GPS while on a road trip. You need to know if you're on the right path or if you need to make some adjustments along the way. Understanding your key metrics can help you refine your strategy, improve engagement, convert more clients. And isn't that the whole point of what we're trying to do here? So let's break down the key metrics you should be paying attention to. First up, open rates. I know I have badmouthed open rates a lot in the past, but I'm coming back around because they can give you a really good indication of how well your subject lines are performing, whether your audience is interested in what you have to say. Just remember, they're not the end all be all, but they are a good starting point. I recently did an email all about open rates and how they're not the whole story. So be sure to check out episode 207 if you want a refresher on that. So now let's talk about click-through rates. CTRs or click-through rates, that measures the percentage of email recipients who opened your email and then clicked on one or more of the links in your email. This metric's really important because it shows how engaging your content is and if people are taking action on your content. So are you driving them to take action or are they opening it and deleting it? Now, let's discuss this a bit more. If you don't have anything to click, then how do you tell? Well, first, I do recommend that you should have things to click on in an email every so often at a minimum, right? It's really important because it demonstrates engagement. But I have a client who doesn't really have anything to click on. They never do. They don't plan to add it. They don't plan to make it available. They just like having their emails go out to their clients once a month so that they know that they're staying top of mind. The only reason I know that the emails are working for them is that they get replies with follow-up questions on what they send out. Or should I say what I send out for them? If they didn't share that with me, I wouldn't have a clue if it was working or not. So figure out how you're going to evaluate that engagement and go from there. Now let's talk about conversion rates. Conversion rates track the percentage of recipients who completed the desired action after clicking on a link in your email, such as signing up for a webinar, booking a consultation, purchasing a service. This is a key indicator of your email campaign's effectiveness and your email program and initiatives ROI. Now there are bounce rates. This metric shows the percentage of your emails that were not delivered. High bounce rates can indicate issues with your email list quality and can really negatively impact your sender reputation negatively. It can really hurt the future deliverability of your emails. So clean up your email and remove the bounces that should be removed. I want you to head back to episode 213 and my Clean Up Your Email Hygiene episode if you have questions about that and getting good list hygiene on your emails. Number 5 is unsubscribe rates. I want you to keep an eye on how many people are unsubscribing from your list after each campaign. A high unsubscribe rate that can signal that your content isn't resonating with your audience or that you're emailing too frequently. Most likely, it's your content and it's not that you're emailing too frequently, but it's always good to keep an eye on it. There are cases when unsubscribes are good and okay, and that's if you're changing your business and you're evolving and you're targeting new and different people. I love the book 10 Times is Easier Than 2 Times by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. There's not too much of Dan's stuff that Benjamin wrote that I don't love, so be sure to check them all out, and I talk about all of them regularly. Anyway, in this book, Dr. Hardy talks about Linda McKissack and her journey as a real estate agent. So one of the things that she did after starting to grow her business is she started hiring an assistant to handle administrative tasks. That freed up her time to focus on more high value activities. Then she became a listing agent only. She specialized as a listing agent. She referred buyers to other agents. This shift allowed her to concentrate on her strengths and provide exceptional service to her clients. And she figured out that's where she had more leverage. Then she started investing in marketing. She wanted to be the only one in her area that people thought of when it came to real estate. So with increased focus, she invested in marketing, which further grew her business. Then Linda moved brokerages and eventually became a broker herself. Each time she made one of these significant changes, her content and branding should have evolved to fit her new role. Doesn't mean that she didn't keep some of those people active, things like that, but it kept evolving. Finally, she became a partner at Keller Williams, continuing to grow her influence and success. It's actually a really cool story that he highlights in there. Now, I don't know exactly how Linda handled her email marketing, if she even used it. I'd be surprised if she didn't at some point. Anyway, each transition that she made could have changed her audience and potentially led to some unsubscribes. So, for example, when she transitioned from an all-around real estate agent to specialized listing agent, her content could have changed a little bit, potentially excluding some of her previous audience. Similarly, as she moved into brokerage and partnerships, her branding and content needed to align with those new roles. How did she probably keep some of them the same? She probably did. She probably evolved and segmented and did a few more things, maybe changed the tone on a few things. But again, these changes are natural. It's sometimes necessary for growth to jettison off 80% of the people that we're working with to focus on that 20% that's going to help us get to the next level. So when you're making these changes, it's okay if you get a lot of unsubscribes or a lot more unsubscribes than you expect. And that's okay because you're going to be providing them with the most relevant content. Unsubscribes overall are okay. I just want you to take it into consideration as you see unsubscribes. Maybe you're not the right fit for some people. Maybe your content is changing. Again, think about that and think about whether or not there should be that level of unsubscribes. Finally, list growth rate. This measures the rate at which your email list is growing. A healthy list growth rate indicates that your lead generation efforts are working. To me, this is a lot more important than unsubscribes. I want to see my list growing even with unsubscribes. Now let's talk a little bit about benchmarks because everyone's like, well, is that good? Well, is that good? I don't know. It's tempting to compare your metrics to industry standards, to other businesses. This can be really misleading and either make you think that you're amazing or depress you, right? Every list is different. Someone else's large list might have a lower engagement rate, while your smaller list could have a super high engagement rate. And this is what you should be focusing on, your historical performance. I want you to look at your own historical data and set benchmarks. Compare your current campaigns to previous ones to identify any trends and areas for improvement. Get audience feedback. Pay attention to what your audience is telling you. If you see a spike in engagement when you send out a certain type of content, that's a hint. You should do more of that if you can. And then focus on the quality of your content. Are you providing valuable, relevant information? Are your emails well designed, easy to read? Have you been consistent? Remember, it's better to have a smaller, highly engaged list than a large, disengaged one. Quality over quantity always wins in the world of email marketing. So let's just say that you're a business coach. Over the past 6 months, you've noticed your emails with case studies and success stories, because who doesn't love a good success story, has a higher open and click-through rate compared to other types of content that you're sending. Use this data to set benchmarks for future campaigns. I want you to aim to at least match or exceed these engagement rates by continuing to provide similar high-value content. Now, let me tell you a little interesting story. So this one person was very disappointed in her sales and what she was getting. She had all these people sign up to join her wait list for this new program she was launching after she spoke at a conference. 40% of the people at the conference took the step to join her wait list. That's amazing. But when it came time to buy, nobody bought. Or a very small percentage, about 2% of that 40% bought. But what did she do to nurture the list? What did she do? How was her performance going? Did she see that people were falling off along the way, or was she not even talking to them at all? Your email list is the lifeblood of your business. It is the key to everything that you will do. And I want you to keep that in mind as you're continuing to grow your business and your email list. To sum it up, measuring the success of your email marketing campaigns is essential because otherwise we're wasting our time if it's not doing anything. So I want you to focus on key metrics like open rates, click-through rates, conversion rates. Set your own benchmarks based on your historical performance and audience feedback. Figure out where you need to go with it. If you enjoyed today's episode, do not forget to rate and subscribe, and be sure to share it with someone who might need to hear this today. Be sure to check out the show notes for this episode for some handy resources and tips. It's going to be really important for you. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Imperfect Marketing. Remember, the key to success is not about being perfect, but being authentic and consistent. Stay fabulous, my friend, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep measuring and optimizing those email campaigns. Have a great rest of your day.